Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 7th annual Breakfast with Our Elders. Of course, this is 2020, so we're doing things differently. I want to say thank you to David Moore. He's a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and a TCC student. David, thank you for that wonderful gathering music and meditation. And you knew I would love to hear Living My Life Like It's Golden. Commissioner Brooks, were you waiting to say something?
No, I was applauding.
Okay, I'm learning the new sign language. Thank you. Thank you so much. Today we convene as a community to honor our elders. And we have started this journey several years ago to celebrate a legacy of commitment to education, leadership, and service, which has improved all of our lives and the lives of our community as we have advanced the importance of education, better living, and an agenda of equity in the community. Today, we honor 16 elders who join a group of more than 100 that we have recognized and applauded over the last 7 years. Today, of course, you will all join us through the internet. And I will tell you that we have had greetings from numerous fellow elected officials, State Senator Royce West, United Way Chair and Tarrant County Water Board member Leah Chloe King, Arlington ISD School Board President Keisha Mays, Fort Worth ISD Trustee Daphne Brookins, and many others that I will name throughout the day. Thank you so much for being with us. Welcome, everyone. And to give you an official TCC greeting, please welcome Shannon Bryant, who's new to Texas. She's the Executive Vice President for Corporate Solutions and Economic Development here at TCC. Shannon?
Thank you so much, Dr. Morris. And can everyone hear me okay? Thumbs up? All right, wonderful, thank you. So welcome to the Elders Breakfast and the TCC Opportunity Center. As Dr. Morrison mentioned, I've been here for a little less than a year now as the new Executive Vice President for Corporate Solutions and Economic Development located here at the Opportunity Center. So being fairly new to Texas and TCC, I did what anyone would do last night is I went through and I did a Google search on all of our honorees today to see who we have and what this is all about. And wow, how impressive. What a great group of leaders and people who've made very strong accomplishments for this community. And I'm thrilled to be here and now be a part of that. As I was looking through the bios and all of the accomplishments of all of our honorees today, it made me think of a quote that I've lived my life by for years that my grandma Flossie said to me many years ago. And many of you may have heard this before, but it's good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. And I think today, looking over the list of honorees, we certainly have the best of this community here today. And so I am thrilled to be here and to build upon the foundation for leading the charge for TCC to be the leader and the resource for education, learning, and development, not only for our students, but for our businesses as well as our community. So again, I welcome all of the panelists and everyone that's here today. And again, congratulations to all of the honorees. And with that being said, I will now turn it over to our great leader, Dr. Giovannini of Tarrant County College. Thank you. Chancellor. I see somebody from Tarrant County College on mute. Okay. Dr. Morris.
Okay, the chancellor's in there now.
Great.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I could see you all and hear you all, but I guess you could not see me or I could not hear me. So I started, but let me begin all over again. Well, certainly good morning, everyone. And This is a special day. Each year, I look forward to joining you for this breakfast with our elders. Certainly, while the circumstances are very different this year, it is certainly no less meaningful that we celebrate the lifetime of service that our honorees have provided to the community. The recent passing of Congressman John Lewis reminded us all that we should spend our lives working to make a difference, or as Congressman Lewis would say, getting into good trouble. I'm sure this morning's honorees have numerous stories of getting into good trouble to make improvements and advancement for our community, and we thank you for that. As I reviewed the list of honorees, I thought about how Breakfast with the Elders also tells a story of how we're connected in this mission of making our community better. This morning's honorees cover the spectrum of service and demonstrate how we can make a difference no matter where we find ourselves on that spectrum. Specifically, Tarrant County College is proud to be part of this event each year and shares the commitment of service to the community every day. We view TCC as the community's college in all aspects of what we do and all aspects of community need. And we work daily to provide opportunities for the Tarrant community itself. Again, congratulations to all this morning's honorees. However, I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to recognize former TCC Board of Trustees President Louise Appleman, who served 30 years for the College District, and current TCC trustee Kenneth Barr, who are among our honorees. Congratulations to you both. And Dr. Morrison, one of our current Board of Trustees, thank you for your continued leadership. Enjoy this fellowship this morning, even though it's distance, and take care of yourself and your families. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Yolanda Parker, and I am a professor of mathematics on the South Campus at Tarrant County College. And Dr. Morrison asked me to speak to you about teaching mathematics in 2020. And when she first gave me the topic, I immediately thought of parents. I thought of how overnight parents became teachers. So teaching mathematics has changed because the teacher has changed, the classroom has changed, and just the world has turned upside down. And so I really want to encourage parents, while you are working with your children at home, math is all around you. And this is a prime time for you to help them connect what's going on in the world with their math. And one example, even though it's not exactly current, but one example that I love was when the Flint, Michigan contamination crisis happened. There was a second grade teacher who engaged her children in mathematical modeling. Now that's a big term for second graders, a big concept for second graders to deal with, but they were engaged in math modeling. It's recommended that children consume 40 ounces of water a day. And so there were several companies who donated bottles of water to the school children in Flint, Michigan. And so the question was posed to them, in order for us to have 40 ounces of water, how many bottles do we need? Because their bottles come in, like the bottles that they got weren't even the 20 ounce sizes, they were the 16.9 ounce sizes. And so they were engaged in that activity of how many bottles of water do we need per student? How many do we need for the day, for the week, and so forth. And so something as simple as that can be a thought-provoking, problem-solving activity that you can engage your students in. And more recently, and at the college level, when the news reporters are talking about flattening the curve, I teach statistics on South Campus. And I had a student who emailed me in the spring. She was so proud of herself because she was really struggling with the class, but she was so proud of herself because she understood the news that they were talking about the normal distribution curve. She said, oh my gosh, when they're saying flattening the curve, they're talking about what you're teaching us. And I said, that's exactly right. And so math is all around us. Parents are saying, oh my goodness, my children are knowing how much I don't know. What do I do? What do I do? You can mathematize anything, even if you think that it may be simple, it's still, math is all around you. And so I just want to encourage you parents, take a deep breath. If you need help, there are tons of resources all over. I posted on Facebook that KERA partnered with Dallas ISD for the month of July, and actually the programming ends today, but from 12 to 2:30 every weekday, the Dallas ISD teachers were doing math lessons from kindergarten through 8th grade. I shared that post, and I just checked right before this session, and it's been shared almost 800 times. And I just posted it the other day. So there are resources, credible resources all around you. Just reach out. I am giving an open invitation. I can connect you with the different resources, but I do not want parents to get stressed out and worried about their students getting left behind because of what's going on. There are tons of resources, even if you don't have connections with the internet, like KERA had that programming. And I really hope that they continue that, just because of the fact that not everyone has internet or reliable internet access. But I just want to say that math in 2020, math hasn't changed. Even though the way that it's taught, the format that it's taught has changed, it hasn't changed. And there are resources out there, and I would love to connect all of you to that. So with that, I will pass it to Dr. Jenkins, but you all can do it. Parents, you can do it. Just taking a deep breath.
Thank you, Dr. Parker, for your wonderful pearls of wisdom about how we can navigate math during this interesting time that we have with our challenges of delivering classes and courses in a different manner, thinking outside of the box. I also want to thank Dr. Morrison for allowing me a few moments to speak to you about a wonderful program called Visions Unlimited that is at TCC South Campus. Visions Unlimited was established in 2007 by our dearly beloved and dearly departed former Chancellor, Ms. Irma Johnson Hadley. It is a program that focuses on transitioning persons that are homeless into higher education. First, let me just say, we have 3 wonderful shelters that we work with. We actually have a team from TCC that go into the shelters each semester and recruit students to come to TCC to change their life, to better improve their trajectory. The 3 shelters we work with are Presbyterian Night Shelter. We also work with Union Gospel Mission and the Salvation Army. This program has been going on, as I said, since 2007. So normally we conduct this program in a face-to-face format. The students come to campus and they receive their instruction that way. Of course, during the spring, we came upon a challenge because due to COVID-19, we had to convert all of our classes midstream around spring break to an online format to ensure everyone's safety. This became a challenge in some ways. In some ways, but in also a very wonderful growth opportunity, not only for the Visions Unlimited program, but for the college in general. The challenges were, particularly as it relates to Visions, many of our students relied on computers on campus to be able to complete their assignments, to check in with their instructor, and just navigate the course successfully. Our wonderful chancellor and our team, our administrative team, did a wonderful thing and allowed us to check out computers to students. So that was helpful in helping us navigate that challenge. But as we look at that, one of the things, I'm an associate professor of psychology. So one of the things that I want to convey to everyone is sometimes we don't think about the psychosocial aspect of something like this, as well as the state of the racial unrest in our country, how that impacts students, faculty, and our community. Sometimes we don't realize the full ramifications of that, especially the success of a student completing a course. And so for many students in the program, and also in my other psychology classes, the anxiety level rose tremendously. We were all able to help students navigate that, but that was one of the challenges that we had. Now, springing forth, the other challenge is in our community, we are having challenges in the area of housing. I'm sure I don't have to tell that to all of you community leaders. You are already aware of that. But it has become increasingly, because of the job situation, that has become an increasing need. So what this has done is open up an opportunity for us to partner. And one of our partners we are speaking with right now is Cornerstone Assistant Network, to perhaps provide some innovative, out-of-the-box housing opportunities for these students as they enter the program, which is a little different than what we've done, how we've done it before. We have established them in the program and referred them. We've worked with Fort Worth Housing and many other community partners to help them obtain stable housing. So this has given us a different vantage point, and we are now thinking outside of the box on ways that we can secure housing faster, work with other partners as far as, we're even looking at our curriculum delivery, how we can implement more and more online portions of it without overwhelming the student that when we receive them are living in a homeless shelter. So I just wanted to just say it's a wonderful opportunity. TCC is affordable, and it is just a wonderful opportunity for us all to think about as you work with students in your scope of influence, just to remember those psychosocial factors that are happening, and just work with us, reach out to us, encourage the students to reach out to us if they are struggling. Because it's very different, as Dr. Parker said, for them to go from, you know, be at a situation, especially with our parents, where everybody in the household is using a computer versus one computer versus, and all of a sudden the parent is now the teacher in the teacher role. There's just many variables there that they're trying to navigate. So I just wanted to say that because I am an empathy person, I'm an empathy advocator, so to speak. So please show that to our students, and also just reach out to us if there's any assistance that we can do to help these students continue to be successful, because as TCC's tagline says, success is in reach. Thank you for this moment. Thank you, Dr. Morrison.
And thank you, Dr. Jenkins. I appreciate that, and your licensed social work skills are coming through. We appreciate you being an empathy advocator. You mentioned success within reach. I want us to reach out and welcome Ms. Cortland Walker, class of 2019. Cortland?
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Cortland Walker, and I attended TCC South Collegiate High School, and graduated with my associates in high school diploma in 2019. Currently, I go to Mary Hardin Baylor, which is the school you guys see in the background. I'm currently on campus as of right now. This year, I'm an upcoming senior, and I'll be graduating with my bachelor's degree. And after that, I plan on going to continuing school and getting my master's in animation. The TCC program, I'm truly grateful for the program, because without it, I would not have been as prepared for college, especially as of right now, since everything has been online and education just has been changing. So I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity I got, because it has prepared me for college. And I also want to thank Dr. Morrison, because without her, I wouldn't have got the opportunity. So thank you guys for always allowing me to come and speak on this with this event. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Cortland, and good luck with your senior year in college. So you'll be graduating when you're about 20 years old?
Yes, actually, I'll be graduating when I'm 19, because I'll be turning 20 after I get my bachelor's.
Congratulations, and thank you for all the hard work. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And from the class of 2020, please welcome Kendall Locke.
Hi, everyone. I hope all is well. First, I want to say thank you to Dr. Morrison for allowing me to join in with you guys. So like she said, my name is Kendall Locke, and I am a graduate of Crowley Collegiate Academy, which is the newly created early college high school through Crowley ISD. In the fall, I'll be attending the University of North Texas, where I will study political science. So I'll actually graduate next fall. So when I'm 19, I'll graduate with my bachelor's in political science, minoring in criminal justice, and then I'll be obtaining a certificate of legal studies. But one thing when I think about TCC and especially the whole tagline of success within reach, it really is within reach because the early college high school program has allowed me to do several things that I wouldn't have been able to do within my regular high school campus. Even just preparing me with skills that are not only needed to build me into a great student academically, but things personally and just making me a well-rounded individual. Things from communicating with your professor, joining different organizations on campus to kind of learn and meet those different individuals throughout the community. And even now, being prepared with how to successfully take an online course. Because majority of my courses for the fall are online. And so, making that switch in the mid of the semester with TCC to online, I'm already prepared with how to go through those different functions. But I'll just say that this early college high school program is truly a blessing because it's not only allowed me to get my associate's degree for free and at such a young age, at the age of 17, but it has truly just equipped me with so many skills that's going to put me ahead of other individuals. And so I'll just forever be grateful for that. But once again, just thank you for having me. And I'm available if anyone would like to connect on, my educational journey or anything like that.
Thank you, Kendall, and good luck to you at UNT this fall. Also from the class of 2020, please welcome former class president, Clement White.
Good morning, everyone. I would first like to thank Dr. Morrison for allowing me to speak, as well as congratulate all of the amazing trailblazers who are being honored this morning. So I'm here to briefly speak about my experience as a graduate of TCC South Early Collegiate High School. So as an early collegiate student, we have the unique experience of not only being a high school student, but also being a college student. So we not only handle high school classes and our extracurricular activities in our high school, but we're also tackling college courses as well. And I think the amazing thing about early college programs, especially through TCC, is that we're not just viewed as children or high school students. We are genuinely treated as every other college student on campus. We have access to all of the amenities on campus, and we really gain the experience of communicating with professors and attending campus events. I Dr. Morrison and Mr. Giovanni and all of their board members for really creating opportunities for high school students to be able to get this dual enrollment education. I will be entering Austin College this fall, and I will be majoring in political science as well with a minor in English. I plan to then go to law school and become a lawyer. And the amazing thing about that is I already have 2 years completed. So I just now have 2 years left of my bachelor's degree. And I am forever grateful to the early college program for allowing me not only to just fast track my degree plan, but also allowing me and my family to save a lot of money because college is really expensive. And TCC South has really just giving me the opportunity to be able to advance my education.
And who's that with you, Clement?
This is my younger brother, Calix, and he is an incoming junior.
Good morning, Calix. Say hello.
Good morning. Hello.
Are you excited about starting your junior year this fall?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, this will be new for you, going to school without your brother, but I know you can do it, and we're excited for you, and we hope you have a great year this year.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we talked about partnerships earlier today. Celebrating partnerships is very important to us because we all know that we're stronger together. So let's hear from two of our community partners today. Let's first welcome Dr. Carlos Walker with the Fort Worth ISD Family Action Center. Dr. Walker?
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. We're so glad that we have this partnership with TCC, as well as others in the community. As you know, we were known as the Historic Stop 6 Initiative, and we've transitioned to the Family Action Center. And what that means is that we actually serve the Dunbar Peer Middle Schools, as well as the Eastern Hills Peer Middle Schools. And so this is an opportunity for us to actually be better together. We've combined the Historic Stop 6 Initiative with the East Side Alliance community partnership. And so that gives us an opportunity to cover more ground and help more families in the long run. We also have a new location. We're going to be located on the campus of Sunrise Elementary School, which is located at 5500 Norris Street. So please, after we open up, we'll have a grand opening, and we'll make sure that we get the information to TCC and Dr. Morrison so everybody will know what's going on and can come out and see our new locations. Thank you for this opportunity.
Great. Is your awesome coordinator with you this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Cole, say hello to us. Ms. Nakia Cole. She always makes certain that the community knows what's going on.
Hello, how are you doing?
Doing great.
My name is Nakia Cole, and I am the coordinator for the Family Action Center. And what I do is provide resources for not only the schools, but the community as well. And we also have a partnership with the city of Fort Worth. So we help the elders as far as doing the applications for utility assistance and any other things that we need to do for them. We actually go to their houses because a lot of them don't have transportation. And if someone let us know about what's going on in the community, if somebody needs any type of resources, we make sure we get it done. And then we also have a food distribution. We've had the food distribution once a week since the beginning of this summer. And the last food distribution is the last Tuesday of this month. And we we provide 1,000 boxes of food weekly. We've been doing that since June. So if you need me, please don't hesitate to give me a call at 817-815-3412.
That is great. And you can reach her through the Fort Worth ISD operator also.
Yes,
Thank you both for being with us and continue the great work you're doing in the community. Well, now it's time to hear from Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School Scholar Athletes. Principal Adams, are you here?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it is always an honor for Dunbar High School to participate in the Breakfast with the Elders. I first would like to thank TCC, Dr. Morrison, and the organizers for hosting this event, even though we could not participate in person this year. It is extremely important for us, our scholars at Dunbar, to honor and learn about the contributions of our honorees so that they can continue this work. They are our next generation. So with us this morning, we have scholars from our cheer squad under the leadership of Angela Batts, as well as scholars from our football team under the leadership of Coach Todd Lawson. I would like to definitely give a shout out to those students that we heard from this morning that were early collegiate high school students. Two of our students that you're going to hear from this morning are also early collegiate high school students. So that's just a testimony to that work and those students pursuing their education. So with us this morning, you're going to hear from Jade Combs, who is a representative of our cheer squad, Mr. Michael Banks, and then introducing our speaker this morning will be Michaela Cook, who is also another early collegiate high school student. So at this time, please help me by welcoming Jade and Michael. And they may be having some difficulty. Jade, are you there with us? Or Michael? So at this time, I think they're having some technical difficulties. So I would like to introduce Coach Lawson and allow him an opportunity to speak, as well as followed by Ms. Batts. And then also we have with us Coach Hughes Jr. So you'd like for him to provide a couple of words of encouragement. Coach Lawson.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everyone here online at this time this morning. I know those people are online; they're able to see us, but I guess they just can't speak. So I don't know what's going on with the technical difficulties with them. But this is a great thing to see and be a part of. I've been a part of it from day one, where y'all been inviting the kids over. We normally will walk over about 45 kids, which is a great experience for those young men to see our elders of the community. And I always tell them, they never knows who's watching, but then when it comes to things like this, they get to see who's watching, and who's representing in this area and things of that nature. But it's just great to be here this morning and having, just being able to see those faces under the circumstances. But I can see that everybody can get online and get on here and enjoy yourself. But it's great to hear the singer this morning, because I was kind of laughing and talking with the guys about the music and things like that. So, but it's just great to have them on here and kind of, get a part of this experience of seeing our elders of our community, and really appreciate you having us here.
Good morning, and I actually see that I'm Angela Batts, and I am the cheer coach at Dunbar High School. We are thrilled to be here. As Coach Lawson said, we look forward to this event every single year. So it's just an honor that we were able to do this virtually with you guys. As always, we're right across the street from TCC. So if you need us, feel free to shoot an email. If you need us to do anything virtually, we're here for you guys. Definitely to increase your spirits during these hard times. So yeah, we're excited to be here. Thanks again for having us. We always look forward to this. And I am actually going to allow Jade Combs to speak because she has made it online. So go ahead, Jade.
Good morning. I'm Jade Combs. I'm captain of the cheerleading squad. And on behalf of the squad, we just want to thank you for having us back. And as a squad, we look forward to bringing back school spirit and spirit in the community after all the loss that COVID has caused. We again want to thank you for allowing us to come, and we hope to see you guys next year.
Coach Hughes, would you like to say a few words?
Trying to work on my unmute. How's everybody doing this morning? Well, of course, I'd like to thank you to invite me. Anytime I get a chance to get a little recognitions, or because most of the time they want my dad, is very appreciative. And I just want to let everybody know, I'm going to do some bragging rights too. Jade and Michaela, those are my prize recruits. I recruited them out the 8th grade. And I want to thank their parents, which letting their kids come to Dunbar, I call that intelligence. And for letting them come to Dunbar to get this great education. And then as a teacher, I'm gonna give everybody some homework. Vicente Guerrero, Clause 12, y'all need to read up on that. We'll see you. Go Wildcats. I'll be a Wildcat, who'll be you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the Dunbar Wildcats for joining us. We always love the spirit that you bring. And yes, we're all in this together. My 3 students or graduates of Paul Luntz Dunbar, class of 98, class of 99, and 2001. So we're happy to partner with you every day, all day. So thank you. And now to introduce our speaker, please welcome Michaela Cook.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michaela Cook, a senior student attending Dunbar High School. I'm also a community advocate and a student advocate. I volunteer at the Ronald McDonald House, which is currently receiving referrals for families in phases. And they're also receiving donations through their site, charity events hosted by volunteers, and the Amazon Smile program. But that's enough about me. Let's talk about our guest speaker, Mrs. Who has over 20 years of experience in issue management, crisis communications, corporate social responsibility, and diversity and inclusion strategy consulting to top corporations, nonprofit organizations, public entities, and elected officials. She is well known and respected for her advocacy skills and communications expertise. She began her career successfully working to influence local, state, and federal public policy, and to secure public funding for healthcare programs and social impact initiatives. She has worked as a legislative staffer, a nonprofit organization leader, a registered lobbyist, and as the public affairs director of a Fortune 500 company. For her success in business and commitment to the community, she has received a number of awards and honors. She holds a bachelor's degree from Paul Quinn College and an executive MBA from Texas Christian University. Please welcome the new president and CEO of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, Mrs. Tonya Veazey.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Let me first thank Michaela for that generous introduction, as well as Dr. Morrison for asking me to give a few words. I will first start off by saying that I miss you all. I just miss being in person, but I love the idea of bringing this community together virtually. I have many friends on this call, on this virtual meeting that have nurtured me, mentored me during my entire career. And so I cannot take credit alone for the journey that I have been privileged to take during this time. And so just a few shout outs of some of my mentors that are currently on this call. Of course, the great Commissioner Roy Brooks, who has known me all of my adult life, and Devoy Jennings, who's the president of the Black Chamber, who was one of the first persons to take a risk of putting me on his board years ago. Also, Louise Appleman and Ken Barr, who have also been great mentors of mine as well. I want to first, on behalf of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, I want to congratulate this year's honorees. Many of you, as I've said before, I've known most of my adult life. I am very honored to be leading one of the most impactful organizations for the global Black community. I'm a Fort Worth girl, so I grew up in Fort Worth. I was educated in Fort Worth. I actually attended TCC for many of the same reasons as our young leaders have said on this call. It was the smart thing to do. It really provided that foundation for me to go off to a four-year college, as well as to go back to school and get my MBA. So I understand firsthand the resources TCC is to this community. The Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, we are a nonprofit public policy research institution that seeks to advance the global Black community. We complement the work of the CBC members. And so we currently have 55 Congressional Black Caucus members. And so we work hand in hand with those Congressional Black members in regard to education, research, and public policy. And so as the CBC president and CEO, I will tell you, I've been on this job officially for 1 month. I became the permanent CEO July 1st. I was the interim CEO starting in February. And it has been one of the most remarkable things that I've had the opportunity to lead this great organization. So I'm responsible for the strategic planning and vision of the organization and leading the CBC's mission. And our mission is simple. Our mission is to advance the global Black community by developing leaders, informing policy, and educating the public. We accomplish those tasks by our internships, our fellowships, and our scholarship programs, and of course, our annual legislative conference that I'll tell you all about soon. We put more congressional interns on Capitol Hill than any other organization. So I want to encourage those who are on this call that the Congressional Black Caucus, if you are interested in working on the Hill, I want to encourage each of you to contact me. I would love to see more of our young people from the Fort Worth area have this opportunity. We put about 100 interns on Capitol Hill each year. And let me be very specific. We put 100 Black interns on Capitol Hill each year. This is something that we realized that had the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation not been available, many of our Black brothers and sisters who look to work on Capitol Hill would not have that opportunity. So we take that opportunity very, it's very important to us to make sure that we provide those opportunities. We also give close to $1 million in scholarships to individual students that are in need of assistance. As I mentioned before, we put 100 interns on Capitol Hill, but we also provide them with housing, because we realize that in many cases, many of our young people, parents could not afford for them to go to other cities or states for intern opportunities because they could not afford to house them. So not only do we pay our interns, but we also house our interns. And I would say this was a vision of our founders. And so I understand that it was very important to our founders, like the great John Lewis, the Elijah Cummings and Conyers. They all wanted to make sure that we created opportunities for our Black boys and girls and opportunities that others were not creating for them. We also understand that our nation is hurting and longing after much needed reform. With the injustices that have plagued this country and have disproportionately affected people of color, it was very important to the CBCF that we be on the right side of history to help nurture the Black community and to continue to develop leaders, inform policy, and educate the public. So I'm excited that about a month ago, we announced a national racial equity initiative. And this initiative will address, I would say what we're currently seeing, and that's the lack of equity across the board. So we just announced that we are going to create a social justice fellowship in the name of the great John Lewis. And this particular person will be looking at policies, procedures, and best practices as it relates to education, incarceration, access to healthcare. We also are starting an endowment fund as well. And that endowment fund will also be a social justice endowment fund in which we will work closely with HBCUs. We have a goal of raising $50 million in the next 5 years for our HBCU endowment fund. This will allow individuals who are interested in studying social justice to be able to do that and we will support them through their financial needs. The last thing that I would say is that, we continue to fight, not just in Washington, D.C., but in local communities as well. And we need allies. And many of you that are on this call have been our allies, but we continue to need allies throughout the community. I know the great work that Carlos is doing in communities as well. I'd love to see if there's a way that we can continue to support that work on a local level as well as on a public policy level as well. The last thing I would say is that many of you have maybe attended our annual legislative conference that happens every year in Washington, D.C. I know Commissioner Brooke attends every year. We are actually bringing our annual legislative conference to the community. So we will be launching a virtual conference that will take place August 31st through September 27th. That is 30 days of town hall meetings in which you will hear from each and every one of our Congressional Black Caucus members. Every day there will be 2 programs that will be addressing things like voter education, access to health care, the many issues that our community face every day. So we want to make sure that you all participate in that conference this year. I'll be posting information about that on my Facebook, as well as I'll make sure that a lot of our community leaders will have that information. We will end the conference with an amazing show on BET on September the 3rd, which we'll be providing an amazing tribute to John Lewis and some of our other civil rights leaders that we've lost in the last year or so. Before I close, I just want to tell you that I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to address you. Again, I am excited about not only the work that will be happening with the Congressional Black Caucus in the next couple of weeks and years to come, but I'm also excited about the work that is happening in Fort Worth as well. I would say that, you know, it's always great. I agree with Coach Hughes. It's always great when I get a call asking to speak to a group and they're not trying to get to Congressman Mark Vesey. So thank you again for thinking of me. I appreciate all the work that you are doing, Dr. Morrison, in this community. And again, thank you and congratulations to our honorees.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for joining us. And let me tell you, Congressman Mark Vesey has attended every single one of our breakfasts with the elder. He's always been a great supporter. He's always right here in the community when we need him, and we appreciate him. Of course, we know that behind every great congressman, there's a wonderful wife. So thank you and congratulations on all of your personal achievements. And we appreciate that great information that you shared with us this morning. God bless you in your endeavors. And so now we're going to move to the area that everybody has been waiting for. We're going to get ready to honor our waves, wise, accomplished, valued elders. And so this morning we have to present the roll call of honorees, our two professors, Dr. Yolanda Parker and Dr. Tina Jenkins. Ladies, take it away.
Sorry about that. I had to locate a little technical difficulty. I got the mute. I'm on now. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Morrison, for that awesome introduction. I would just like to say that it is with great pleasure and honor that Dr. Parker and I introduce and celebrate the outstanding accomplishments and community stewardship of the 2020 WAVE honorees. After each introduction, we will ask each honoree to briefly share a response to a question. We have two questions that each honoree will answer, or I'm sorry, will respond to one question. So stay tuned so that you can benefit from the wisdom of all of these wonderful honorees and leaders in our community. The first honoree is Miss Louise Appleman. Ms. Appleman has actively served the Tarrant County community for over 45 years. She has led leadership positions on the Tarrant County College District Board of Trustees, the United Way of Tarrant County, Community Foundation of North Texas, Junior League of Fort Worth, and several City of Fort Worth committees and task forces. Her service on community boards include the Fort Worth Chamber of Commerce, North Texas Public Broadcasting System, Workforce Solutions, Streams and Valleys, the Women's Foundation of North Texas, as well as 2 corporate boards. She has been named First Lady of Fort Worth by the Altrusa Club, and also named as one of the Tarrant County's most influential businesswomen by the Fort Worth Business Press. She has been cited as a distinguished alumna at Texas Women's University and received the Legacy of Women Award from Safe Haven. One of Ms. Appleman's long-lasting legacies include the creation of Appleman and Associates, which is a relocation service that she started the same year she began her work on the TCC Board of Trustees in 1988. Appleman and Associates has successfully moved and acclimated 700 executives and their families to Fort Worth and Tarrant County. Congratulations, Ms. Appleman, and we celebrate all of your accomplishments and achievements and contributions to the city of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. Now, Ms. Appleman, we have a question for you. And your question is, if you could offer one pearl of wisdom to share with the younger generation, what would that be?
Okay. Short and sweet. If not anything, I'm a bossy mom and grandmom, so I always have advice, and it's about worth what they pay for it. Make a goal, stay the course, keep the faith, don't take yourself too seriously, but take your work seriously.
Very wise words indeed. Thank you so much for offering your pearl of wisdom to all of us today. Our next honoree is Mr. Ken Barr. Mr. Barr is a consultant on public affairs and governmental relations. He was elected mayor of Fort Worth 4 times. Did y'all hear that? 4 times before retiring in 2003. From 2008 to 2019, he was a member and chairman of the board of the North Texas Tollway Authority, NTTA. In May of 2019, he was elected as a trustee of the Tarrant County College District. Mr. Barr currently serves as chairman of the Real Estate Council of Greater Fort Worth, is a member of the executive committee of the Van Cliburn Foundation, and serves on the board of Medical City Fort Worth Hospital. He is a past chairman of the North Texas Commission and Fort Worth Sister Cities International. He served, just a moment. My technology was doing something interesting there. Okay. He has served as president of the Exchange Club of Fort Worth and the Rotary Club of Fort Worth as well. Unfortunately, Mr. Barr could not be with us today due to circumstances beyond his control. However, he wanted us to convey his utmost appreciation and gratitude for this community recognition. We accept this award on his behalf and extend our congratulations to Mr. Barr for his outstanding contributions to the city of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. Now, Dr. Yolanda Parker will introduce the next 2 honorees.
Good morning. Our next honoree is Dr. Shirley Birdsong Knox Benton. Dr. Benton holds a number of firsts as part of the Fort Worth Black History Makers. She is a native of Longview, Texas, attended Longview Colored High School, and was a 1954 honor graduate. Dr. Benton is the first African-American female principal of Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School, during which the school received $117,550 for raising TOS test scores. She was the first African-American female to hold the title of Region 11 High School Principal of the Year, as well as the first African-American female to hold the title of Texas High School Principal of the Year, both in the same year, 2001. She's the first and only educator in North Texas area to receive the Reader's Digest American Hero in Education Award in 1996 for turning a troubled school around. The school received $10,000. She was the first to receive the United States Congressional Award for the late United States Congressman John Lewis and Martin Frost in 1996. She was the #1 woman in the workplace in 1995 from the City of Commission on the Status of Women. She says the greatest highlight of her career was working in the lives of over 15,000 students who are now working in a global society, serving as a classroom teacher for 20.5 years, academic and guidance counselor for 6.5 years, assistant principal for 6 years, principal for 12 years, and after retirement, 5 years as a professional service provider, monitor, conservator for the state of Texas. I get tired just reading that. Dr. Benton's educational achievements, awards, recognitions, and other accommodations include several degrees and certifications in music, academic counseling and guidance, supervision, and mid-management. She has attended Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Texas Women's University in Denton, Texas, Houston Tillotson University in Austin, international study at Oxford Round Table in Oxford, England, And she was a people-to-people ambassador to Johannesburg, Cape Town, Pretoria, and Soweto in South Africa, Ghana, and Senegal. The complete list of accolades for Dr. Benton are too numerous to include in this writing. However, she recently invented a dignified device designed for immobile patients and persons who suffer from incontinence. Dr. Benton is a 55-year member and church historian of the Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church in Fort Worth, Texas, where the Reverend Craig L. Pullum is pastor. Her mantra is, "With God, all things are possible. It can be done." And I love her motto, "In class, with class, it can be done." Dr. Benton, if you could please offer a few pearls of wisdom for all of us here. And we cannot hear you.
Thank you so much
There
for
you
that
go.
introduction.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you, Dr. Morrison, and to Dr. Parker, and to Dr. Jenkins and TCC for this great honor, and congratulations to all of the other honorees. Of course, you've heard my mantra, "With God, all things are possible, it can be done." My words of wisdom to a younger generation: don't hide your light, let it shine. Put God first, have a plan with a purpose, and as you begin each day, determine that God's love will guide what you say, how you think, and how you do what you do. Have confidence in yourself. Don't let anyone discourage you. Have compassion, empathy, commitment. Be dedicated to whatever you do. Feast on your learning. Have a gourmet of ideas. Research and strategize. Search, explore, and make connections with professionals throughout your professional and the world. Be humble, gentle, patient, and show love. If you trust others generously, graciously, these qualities will help you all of the way. I'm a living witness. It can be done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Benton. And our next honoree is Commissioner Roy Charles Brooks. For over 30 years, Commissioner Brooks has represented his community as a volunteer, a city elected official, and now as Tarrant County Commissioner. He embraces the core values of integrity, innovation, and growth. Roy is committed to the health and welfare of the people. Since entering office in 2004, he is continuously addressing the healthcare issues in his community, such as healthcare for the homeless, infant mortality, obesity, access of care, health disparities, and AIDS education. Commissioner Brooks is aggressively involved in the state and federal levels of government to assist in developing programs that create and shape healthcare policy in this nation's counties. In 2017, he was elected as president of the National Association of Counties, where Commissioner Brooks championed the Serving the Underserved initiative, which showcased the critical role counties play in breaking multi-generational cycles of poverty, especially by focusing on early childhood development and the long-lasting impacts of adverse childhood experiences and trauma. Commissioner Brooks is a committed husband and father and is married to Dr. Jennifer Giddings Brooks. They are the proud parents of 2 children, their daughter Royce and son Marion. He is an active long-term member of Morningside United Methodist Church, an avid reader, a collector of African-American art, a passionate music lover, and a participant in the Adley H. Tresvant Memorial Choir of the historic I Am Terrell High School. Commissioner Brooks, would you please share some words of wisdom for us here?
Thank you, Dr. Parker, for that very wonderful introduction. And thank you to Dr. Morrison and Tarrant County College for this recognition. I too wish to congratulate the other members of this class this year. Congratulations on becoming an elder. and congratulations on becoming wise and accomplished and valued along the way. My words of wisdom to the next generation would be these. Find your passion. And in the words of Congressman John Lewis, use that passion to get in the way and to get into trouble, good trouble, necessary trouble, to make sure that Black lives matter and that we all are involved in the creation of a more perfect United States of America, where everybody's life matters. Life itself is a relay race. There will come a time, young people, when you are handed the baton, and it is your job, when that baton is placed in your hand, to run as fast and as far as you possibly can to advance the mission of Black people in the United States and the United States in the world. Be steadfast, unmovable, always abiding in the work of the Lord. And when that baton is handed to you, be ready, run fast, run far. Our future depends on you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Commissioner Brooks. Dr. Jenkins.
Yes, our next honoree is Mr. Fernando Costa. Mr. Costa's career in local government spans over a period of 44 years. He counts as special blessings his many wonderful opportunities to improve the vitality of American cities and metropolitan areas. He has been privileged to hold leadership positions over long periods of time for two large and dynamic cities, Atlanta from 1987 to 1998, and Fort Worth for the past 22 years. Mr. Costa's greatest accomplishments in these positions has been to play meaningful roles in revitalizing distressed neighborhoods and commercial districts at the core of these urban areas. In Atlanta, he and other community leaders were able to use the 1996 Olympics as a catalyst for bringing capital investment and jobs to many unserved neighborhoods around the Olympic venues. In Fort Worth, he has enjoyed being part of various initiatives to improve downtown and surrounding districts to the north, east, south, and west. In connection with these activities, Mr. Costa has derived the greatest satisfaction from facilitating greater understanding, trust, and cooperation among people representing diverse backgrounds and interests. Mr. Costa believes that this remains one of the greatest challenges facing our country today and looks forward to doing his part toward meeting that challenge. Congratulations, Mr. Costa, and we celebrate your outstanding contributions to Fort Worth, Atlanta, and Tarrant County. Mr. Costa, I would ask you this question. If you could offer some pearls of wisdom to share with all of us today, what would that be?
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins, and good morning, folks. Very happy to be with you
honored and humbled really to be included in this group of honorees. To our young folks, I would recommend that you get a good education now, but equally important that you learn how to learn throughout your life, because education really is a lifelong pursuit. I would urge you to think critically, think for yourself, not just follow the crowd, and broaden your outlook by getting to know and building meaningful relationships with folks who are different from you. I didn't intend to do this, but let me tell you a little story, because Dr. Jenkins mentioned that I had worked for many years in Atlanta before having the opportunity to come to Fort Worth. And when I was there, I had the privilege of working with a gentleman who's been mentioned many times already in this program, Congressman John Lewis. I got to work with Mr. Lewis and with the late C.T. Vivian, who also passed away just the other day, and Coretta Scott King and Andrew Young and many others, too many to name. And they helped me to see things differently from what I had understood. And that taught me a valuable lesson. It's a lesson that I would want to impart to the young folks here today, to learn from folks who are different from you, and it'll make you a better person. It'll make our society better. We have much to do, many challenges in front of us, and by gaining a good education and a good broad outlook on life, we'll be able to meet the challenge. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Acosta, for those wonderful pearls of wisdom that you've offered us today. Our next honoree is Miss Helen Curtis. Miss Curtis is a graduate of Southwestern Christian College in Terrell, Texas, Pepperdine University in Malibu, California, and the University of North Texas in Denton. In addition to her undergraduate and graduate degrees, she holds certifications in teaching, vocational education, and administrative mid-management. She was also awarded an honorary doctorate of humane letters from Southwestern Christian College in 2011. Professionally, she has been a teacher at the middle school, high school, junior, and senior college levels. Ms. Curtis served as a public school administrator for 20 years, of which 18 of those years was in the capacity of principal in middle and high schools. After retirement, she continues to work part-time as a program evaluator for AB Christian Learning Center and serves as a test monitor for Freedom School. She volunteers with Guardianship Services, Inc., and remains active with the Fort Worth Retired School Educators Association. She also serves on the Board of Trustees for Southwestern Christian College and holds the position of Secretary of the Board. Her most recent award recognitions include Community Involvement Award from the East Point Church of Christ, where she has been a faithful member for 55 years and has a building called the Dr. Helen Curtis Education Center dedicated in her name. She has been inducted into the Southwestern Christian College Hall of Fame, a recipient of the Alumnus of the Year Award, the Golden Ram Award, recipient of the coveted Strong Woman Award from the Girls Inc. of Tarrant County, recipient of the Volunteer of the Year Award, and President's Awards from Guardianship Services. Congratulations, Ms. Curtis, and we celebrate your outstanding contributions to the city of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. Ms. Curtis, your question is, what do you consider to be your greatest accomplishment?
Good morning, and thank you very much for including me with this list of distinguished honorees. I'm honored and humbled to be included. Being a teacher and administrator for a combined 37 years, I had the opportunity to impact the lives of other future teachers, other future administrators, future judges, lawyers, politicians, nurses, doctors, and hundreds of occupations that determine the quality of life for others. With pride and excitement, I've watched them excel in their various occupations. I was able to observe them rear their own families, and I watched their children become achievers, to become the ones to help make our country great. So my greatest accomplishment is their accomplishments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Curtis, for that awesome insight and sharing about your journey. Now I will turn it back over to Dr. Yolanda Parker to introduce the next two honorees.
Figure out my technology. Our next honoree is Mr. Kenneth Devereaux. Mr. Devereaux currently serves as a downtown development consultant. He has previously served as president of the Downtown Arlington Management Corporation and served as president of the Development Corporation of Tarrant County. Previously, Mr. Devereaux was president of Downtown Fort Worth Incorporated from 1982 until his retirement in 2003. Before relocating to Fort Worth, he held management positions directing downtown redevelopment in Birmingham, Alabama, Alexandria, Louisiana, and Maryville, Tennessee. He served as city manager of Beaumont, Texas, and Elizabethton, Tennessee, and as city administrator of New Bern, Tennessee. Mr. Devereaux has lectured across the country at universities and served 4 years on the graduate faculty of Webster College in St. Louis, Missouri. He received his BS degree from Oklahoma State University and MPA degree from the University of Oklahoma, which I thought was interesting. Locally, he has served on numerous boards, including the Fort Worth Club, Tarrant County College Foundation, Downtown Fort Worth Rotary Club, Longhorn Council of BSA, Woodhaven Development Corporation, and First United Methodist Church. Mr. Devereaux, I would also like to congratulate you for all of your wonderful accomplishments, and I'd like for you to share what you feel is your greatest accomplishment.
And can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for Tarrant County College and Dr. Morrison for honoring me and all these other leaders. They're an outstanding group of people. If I would talk to the students, I would say pursue your education, continue your education, make no little plans for yourself, keep your eye on the goal you set for yourself, and be tenacity in your goals. Be strategic, and you will accomplish great things for yourself and others. And thank you for honoring us.
Thank you very much. Our next honoree is Ms. Clara Frances Faulkner. She says, when I decided to allow God to order my steps, doors opened, and this faith walk became my life story. I could only reply, but God. Clara was born in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and was raised by her grandmother, an educator named Mrs. Clara Willard Jones. Ms. Faulkner has named a scholarship in her grandmother's honor. Ms. Faulkner graduated from I.M. Terrell High School and attended Oakland City College, TCC South Campus, and Walter and Reuther Leadership Institute in Black Lake, Michigan. Clara is now retired after providing 34 years of service to Ball Metal Corporation, formerly Miller Container Corporation. She has served on several boards and in public office, including the Fort Worth Sickle Cell Foundation, Federal Medical City of Fort Worth, Political Action Committee Chair of Fort Worth NAACP, and Forest Hill City Council, Metropolitan United Way, and President of LULAC Council. She was also president of UAW Local 129 and served on the TCC 50th Anniversary Advisory Committee. As mentioned, she established the Clara Willard Jones Scholarship Fund. From 2002 to 2010, the fund provided 5 $1,000 scholarships each year. Currently, Ms. Faulkner is president of Fort Worth chapter of A. Philip Randolph Institute, the chair of Forest Hill Memorial Park Committee, and presently serves as a mayor of Forest Hill. Ms. Faulkner is an active member of the Corinth Missionary Baptist Church, where she serves as head trustee and member of the usher board, where Pastor Gary Marshall is officiating. Clara has 3 adult children, Thaddeus Faulkner Jr., Eric Faulkner, and Cheryl Warren, and 5 grandchildren. Her mantra is, "The harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. As long as God gives me strength and mind to work, I will be a laborer for the greater good. Just call me servant." Thank you, Ms. Faulkner, for your service. And do you have any words of wisdom to share with us this morning?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I would just like to first thank God for the opportunity to be here. And I just want to thank my little sister, Gwen Morrison, for allowing me to also be honored on today. But I first want to have bragging rights. Kendall Locke and Carlos Walker, they are members of my church, and I've watched those 2 young men grow, and it amazes me every time just listening to Kendall today. I just want to be a mentor for young people, as my grandmother was a mentor to me. But I just would admonish in the words of Glory with Common and Legend, where he said we need the wisdom of the elders and the young people's energy. And that is so true. But I would admonish our young people to always put God first. Allow him to order your steps. And you'll not only run the race and persevere, but you'll cross the finish line. And don't forget when you cross that finish line to reach back and pull someone else up. That's what God left us here. He blesses us to be a blessing. And I think I'll change my mantra. You're blessed to be a blessing. And during this pandemic, we see just how much others need us. And as long as we can reach out and help somebody and realize that sometimes it's just the little things in life, that they're all worthwhile. And it's the little things in life that cause us to smile. And if you haven't told anybody today that you love them, let me be the first to each of you. I love you and thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Faulkner. That's very timely and very heartfelt, and we appreciate you. And Dr. Jenkins has the next 2 honorees.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. Our next nominee is Ms. J.J. Grayson, and it's my understanding that the full name, as I just stated it, is what she is very well known as in the community, Mrs. J.J. Grayson. After 28 years as a dedicated public school teacher, Ms. Janie Grayson retired to establish J.J. Grayson Real Estate. As a licensed real estate broker, she forged a successful career in the Fort Worth market and launched many others in the community to own their own successful real estate careers. Other leaders have commented that Ms. Grayson is a very humble person and enjoys helping others achieve their dreams. One of the things that I also have heard in the community is that Ms. Grayson is a wonderful example of reinventing yourself after having that long career as a public school teacher. She is an inspiration to begin and also nurture her entrepreneurial spirit to open her real estate business. Congratulations, Ms. Grayson, and we celebrate your outstanding contributions to the city of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. Ms. Grayson, your question is, if you could offer a pearl of wisdom or some pearls of wisdom to share with a younger generation and the rest of us today, what would that be?
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins, and to Dr. Caraway, and to Dr. Morrison, and to the others. I'm delighted to be here, and I'll certainly get to that point in just a sec. Just give me a moment. I also want to recognize Kevin. He has done a marvelous technical job in drawing this together, because he and I have communicated even this day, and he's done a good job. Thank you, Kevin, for the work. Thank you, Dr. Morrison, and now again to Dr. Jenkins. Let me just say a few words of my appreciation. I'm very pleased. I was very pleased to learn when I heard that I was chosen to be an honoree for this occasion. As you highlighted, is known for the 7th year as the legacy of education, leadership, and service. I was very, very, very humbled, the experience of hearing that I was a chosen one. And I kind of edged over and looked at all the names, recognizing 2 or 3 on the list that I personally know. Very humble again to see each one of us that have reached the milestone in life. Without shame, without regret, without denial, I am an elder indeed, only through and by the grace of God. I did not and cannot reach such a position in life because of myself, but only God has the grace and mercy and can bestow such longevity of humankind upon we humans. God bless you, Tarrant College, and for what you're doing, your perception and recognition to reach out and to touch, which is a blessing. Those things that Parker mentioned that I had, Dr. Jenkins mentioned that I had participated in, you don't want to hear all the experiences. Let me just mention one that might set you on the road of, especially when what we real estate people went through with when we were trying to kind of desegregate our community. Number one is when I became a broker after being a salesperson only 18 months, and I became a broker. I had to go before the court with a lawyer and had my disability of coverage removed before I could become a broker. This was required by the Texas Real Estate Commission. Now, if you kind of research that, you'll find out what all of that means. That was a struggle to have to do this, but it did not put a stumbling block out there. I want you to know. What I would have to offer to the young generation, let me share an experience I had with a young man in the classroom at my last school where I taught. Out in West Fort Worth. This young man, maybe he stood about 6 feet. I'm 5'5". And I was teaching at that time 6th graders, 6th grade, 8th graders. You know, they were little fellows, still are, little fellows at that time. This guy, we were on the softball field. This guy was tremendously strong, and he would stand up and hit a ball, and those little kids would just duck. So I made a statement to him. I said to him, you big old stand up in the road. That's what I said. You need to be in high school. You know what he said to me? And you laugh, enjoy this one. He said to me, you need to be in the old folks' home too. Now, I get a good laugh out of that one. But it worked out. I couldn't rest that night. Neither could he rest that night, nor his mom. We looked for one another that next morning in the hall and met. When our eyes met, we almost ran to each other with a slight embrace and said, we each apologize. That's the way you get it all started. You start with an apologetic spirit. And that's going to be part of what young people not so young too, would have to face, and many of us, not all of us, have faced it a number of times in this walk as we have walked through as seniors and have reached this position in life. So what would I say to you? Maybe you need to take a note and just write this down, because you will probably forget the scripture in Jeremiah, the 12th chapter and the 5th verse. It says like this: if thou hast run with the footmen, and they have wearied thee, then how can thou contend with the horses? And if in this land of peace in which thou trustest, they weary thee, then how would thou work, and what wilt thou do at the swelling of the Jordan? That's where we are right now, at the swelling of the Jordan. Thank you, and God bless.
I have to say thank you, Ms. Grayson. Ms. Grayson just celebrated her 91st birthday with a drive-by birthday party a few weeks ago. So thank you, Ms. Grayson, for joining us this morning. We're so happy to be able to hear those beautiful words of wisdom from you, a wise, accomplished, and very valued elder. May God continue to bless you. Thank you. Dr. Parker?
Actually, Dr. Morrison, it still is with me. If Ms. Jennifer could stop sharing her screen. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you again for that wonderful inspirational word of wisdom, Ms. Grayson. Thank you for taking the time to share that. Okay, our next nominee is Dr. Harriet Harrell. Dr. Harrell is principal consultant with the Harrell Group, specializing in organizational effectiveness. Her company provides tailored services in group facilitation, communication effectiveness, management training, and leadership development for nonprofit boards of directors, associations, governmental entities, and for-profit businesses. In June of 2020, Dr. Harrell retired after 25 years as Executive Director of Leadership Fort Worth, educating, empowering, and connecting diverse leaders to serve as community trustees. During her tenure with Leadership Fort Worth, she grew the programming from one leadership program to 5 leadership development programs, which now encompasses more than 4,000 community leaders, serving a broader spectrum in our community. In addition, under her leadership, Leadership Fort Worth created and launched Steer Fort Worth for the Mayor's Office and Board Build in partnership with the United Way of Tarrant County. She chaired the National Association of Leadership Programs, which recognized her as a preceptor and awarded Leadership Fort Worth the Excellence in Innovation and Pacesetter Awards. Dr. Harrell formerly was director of the Center for Productive Communication in the M.J. Neely School of Business at Texas Christian University. She is the author of numerous books and articles in her area of expertise, which is organizational leadership. She was selected as a Great Woman of Texas in 2015, the Outstanding Woman of Fort Worth in 2000, received the ASTD Distinguished Individual Achievement Award and Keithley Award for Outstanding Woman in Public Management in North Texas. She was the first honoree of the Will Courtney Award for Outstanding Service to Goodwill Industries in 2013. She received the Legacy of Women Award in 2018 from Safe Haven, was named one of the 400 people of influence by Inc. magazine in 2019. She is a Paul Harris Fellow with Rotary International. Dr. Harrell serves on national boards of Baptist News Global and Northern Baptist Seminary and the local Renaissance Heights United Board. She has served as past president of the International Board, the Community Leadership Association, and the Board of Directors of Goodwill Industries of Fort Worth, Incorporated. She's also the past moderator of the National Board of the Cooperative Baptist Fellowship, past vice chair of the National Board of the Baptist Theological Seminary in Richmond, and past chair of the board deacons in her church, where she remains a faithful member and community advocate. I would just like to say on a personal note, I am a proud graduate of the 2018 Leadership Fort Worth class and currently serve on the board of directors for Leadership Fort Worth. I have been blessed to witness and be part of the wonderful work Dr. Harrell has given through her role as Executive Director of Leadership Fort Worth. Congratulations, Dr. Harrell, and we celebrate your outstanding contributions to the city of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. Dr. Harrell, your question is, what would you, as I have indicated, you have many accomplishments. What would you consider to be your greatest accomplishment?
Thank you so much, Tina, and it is a joy to get to have been involved with you in Leadership Fort Worth, both as a class member and in working with you at TCC and in that wonderful Visions Unlimited program and on the board. I am so honored to be a part of this wonderful list of honorees, and particularly honored because this comes from Tarrant County College, and I have such respect for what TCC does in this community and how important it is. So an accomplishment, it is my hope that through whatever I've done, whether professionally or as a volunteer, that I have exhibited respect for others. I believe that goals can be accomplished, that conflicts can be managed, and that trust can be forged when people involved recognize the dignity of the others in the situation, when they listen with great care and acknowledge the validity of the other person's concerns and goals. And so I've loved the opportunities that I've had to be the facilitator for a number of sometimes intense decision-making situations and helping those involved reach a conclusion that they feel good about. I'm very proud of having facilitated the first two efforts to reach a smoking ordinance for the city of Fort Worth. And my sense of accomplishment was bringing together entities as disparate as the Cowtown Smokers Club on one hand and the American Cancer Society on the other, and to be able to go together to City Council with a recommendation. Another situation was facilitating a national summit of university deans of student affairs and the leaders of both the National Sorority and Fraternity Associations and the attorneys that they all brought with them to help them deal with some intense campus situations. And my sense of accomplishment there was that after 3 years of working, they no longer felt like they had to have their attorneys in the room because they had created a sense of trust and a collegial relationship with them. And that's why I've loved working with Leadership Fort Worth all these years, because of the commitment to community trusteeship, a concept that says we respect all in the community. Thank you again so much for letting me.
And that, for your wonderful words of wisdom and sharing about your wonderful accomplishments. Dr. Parker will now introduce the next two honorees.
These musical interludes have been quite entertaining. So thank you, Mr. David Moore, for providing this lively atmosphere for us. Our next honoree is Madison Hogan III. Mr. Hogan was born in Macon, Georgia, and he is the oldest of 14 siblings. He has 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. He attended James E. Gwynn Junior High School and graduated from I.M. Terrell High School in 1963. After graduation, he joined the United States Marine Corps and came home on boot leave in November 1963 and saw his commander-in-chief, President John F. Kennedy, in front of the Texas Hotel, which is now called the Hilton Hotel, who unfortunately was assassinated a few hours later. Mr. Hogan was with the 1st Marines, 1st Battalion, 9th Marines to land in Vietnam in March 1965, which was his first tour. And his second tour was in 1966-67 with the 3rd Battalion, 26th Marines. He was honorably discharged in July 1967 and worked for General Dynamics while attending Tarrant County Junior College. He was involved in a militant civil rights organization, the United Front of Fort Worth, from 1970 to 72, and he attended the 1972 Black Convention in Gary, Indiana. Later that year, he was a delegate to the Democratic State Convention in San Antonio, Texas. In 1973, he graduated from the Lewis Hotel Motel Management School in Washington, D.C., and worked in purchasing at the Statler Hilton Hotel in Dallas while enrolled at El Centro College, from which he graduated in 1977. He came back to Fort Worth in 1983 and was hired by the U.S. Postal Service and retired in 2010. He is a life member of the American Legion Emanuel L. Young Post 838. He was the post historian and won 3rd place at the 2006 State Convention and won 2nd place at the 2007 State Convention. Now he does freelance photography, and he is the photographer for the Levita News, The Black Voice. And when I saw your picture, I was like, yes, that's Mr. Levita. So it's wonderful to get a chance to honor you because you honor so many people through the beautiful photographs that you take. And so if you could please share a few minutes, share for us a few minutes, some words of wisdom for us today.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. My name, like you said, is Madison Hogan III. I want to thank Gwen for having me as I'd say I was a grassroots honoree today because everybody on the panel has they way ahead of me as far as having degrees and all that. Anyway, I did use my credits from TCC over at El Centro and got me an associate's degree. I should have went on, but I didn't. But anyway, I want to thank, like I said, Gwen for having me as an honoree this morning. And my words of wisdom to young people, listen. Just listen to old people. You know, people that's been around, people that's lived. You know, y'all just got here. You think you know everything. Just listen sometime and take it and listen to the elders like me, who's been through a whole lot, 2 tours, Vietnam, you know, and lived, you know, it's just tough. Just listen. But anyway, my accomplishments that I love is that I was the organizer of the first Martin Luther King Jr. parade in the state of Texas, or maybe United States in 1971. I got Dunbar High School, I.M. Terrell High School, Poly High School, and it was the coldest day of the year. June Kelly, she was Miss Black America that year, Miss Black Teen America that year. She was the Grand Marshal. And we marched from our headquarters, which was down off Hatter Street, up Evans to Maddox to Hillside Park. And Roy's daddy, Dr. Marion Brooks, gave the state of Black Fort Worth, just like the president do the State of the Union. He gave the state of Black Fort Worth. And that's one of my proudest accomplishments besides getting Troy Sparks, a black, on the Fort Worth School Board. We fought tooth and nail to do that. And those are my 2 accomplishments. And I appreciate you, and thank God that we're all here and safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hogan. And listen, I definitely have seen the value in listening to my elders. Even though I look about 10, I'm close to being an elder myself in about 30 years. No, I'm just kidding. But I think that even when I'm an elder, you still need to listen. So thank you. That's advice that all of us can adhere to. And I did not know about the MLK parade. So that's Fort Worth history right there. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much.
All right.
Our next honoree is Mr. Devoid D. Jennings. A native of Fort Worth, Devoid Jennings grew up supporting the gold and blue at I M Terrell High School, graduating in 1966. He enrolled at Tarrant County College and later attended Texas Wesleyan University, graduating with a degree in marketing in 1971. In 1973, Devoid began a 27-year journey with TXU Encore Management and as a lobbyist, community affairs specialist. Having grown up in the city, Devoid has taken the leadership role in a number of community and civic issues. He has served on numerous boards, including Texas Wesleyan University from 1989 to 2006, North Texas Commission from 1993 to 2003, and is a past chairman for the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber from 1986 to 1992, chairman of the Texas Association of African American Chambers from 1992 to 2000. While serving as chairman of the Fort Worth Metro Black Chamber of Commerce, he developed 2 companion organizations, of which were spun off of the chamber as standalone community-based organizations today, namely the William Mann Jr. CDC and Southeast Fort Worth Incorporated. In 1996, he pushed for and got established a branch office of the Omni American Federal Credit Union, now the Southside Bank. Mr. Jennings resides in Forest Hill, Texas, with his wife of 36 years, Gwen Barbee. When not actively engaged as president and CEO of the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce, he spends time relaxing with immediate family and grandchildren. And thank you so much for your contributions to our community. And I wanted to know if you have some words of wisdom that you would like to share with us today while we are listening. And we don't hear you, Mr. Jennings. And I don't see him on here. Kevin, is he still on?
I don't think he's on.
Okay. Oh, there he is. But he's muted. What we can do is, oh, go ahead, Mr. Jennings.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? All right, at least you can hear me. First of all, I want to thank Tarrant County Junior College, as when I went to college out there in 1968. I want to thank Dr. Morrison, Miss Jenkins, Miss Jenkins, when she started her Vision Unlimited through Tarrant County College, we as a chamber was involved in that endeavor. They had classes here at the chamber, and we actually had a clothing drive that we gave clothes to those graduates of that those classes through the years through my wife, Gwen Barbee Jennings. So I have a great connection with Tarrant County College naturally with Miss Irma Johnson Hadley, and the fact that I almost graduated out from Tarrant County College based on the fact that we were able to get within 3 hours of graduating. The words of wisdom, and probably my chief accomplishment for Fort Worth has been the wisdom I like to say for the kids is find a passion, stay with that passion and live that passion. And that's what I was able to do through Tarrant County College and through the work of being involved with the passion of economic development. It's been a ministry for me, and I've enjoyed it over the last 20 to 30 years. So if you find that passion, stay with it and make it work for you. Secondly, I like to say, when I look at accomplishments and things that I've been involved in, I think my greatest accomplishment is the reestablishment of I Am Terrell High School to a STEM and Arts Academy, which is one of the best in the city of Fort Worth today. E.A. Sims was Mr. Inside and I was Mr. Outside, galvanizing community support for that project. And it's the beacon on the hill right now, and we love it. And I look forward to many more years of it's been the institution that it's always been. I told people when they developed the STEM and the Arts Academy that's how I Am Terrell it really was. So we just back to the future on that. So I want to say thanks to the Tarrant County community for it really got me going. I was in a class of business, first class of marketing at Tarrant County College, and it definitely has made a difference for me and made a difference in my life. Thanks for the recognition. Thanks for the folks I've been recognized with. Most of them I know, appreciate, and love. And thank you, Dr. Morrison, for being a seasoned veteran of opportunity for others of us in the area of volunteering. And I say volunteering because you've been at Tarrant County College as its trustee and probably the most senior trustee and public administrator that we have. And I say administrator, it's basically in the area of public service as a trustee of Tarrant County College. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jennings. And at this time, I'll let Dr. Jenkins share a personal note and tribute to you as well.
Yes, indeed. You kind of stole a little bit of my thunder there, Mr. Jennings, when you already have commented about our alliance. But I just wanted to also personally thank you and your wife, because you both, and the chamber, because you all were the first, one of the first partners when we were starting Visions Unlimited to embrace and to enhance the program. And just, and one of the things, I just want to say this, one quick thing. We not only, it was not just the clothing drive. One of the things that the students look forward to every year was volunteering at a gala at the country club. And for a lot of our students, of course, in the homeless program especially, never had that experience of being in a country club, and it just elevated their sphere of exposure. And all of them, all of the time, each year, they look forward to that, as well as many other things that we did. So thank you for that. Okay.
More than welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. Our next honoree is Mr. Wayne Spanky Lewis. Mr. Lewis is known to many as Spanky. I'm sorry. Mr. Lewis, known to many as Spanky, is a Fort Worth native whom attended I Am Terrell High School. There we're mentioning I Am Terrell again, right? His accolades include 1965 basketball team captain, all state guard, all district, state champions, 1966 basketball team captain, all state guard, all district, state runner-up. After Mr. Lewis graduated from I Am Terrell, he attended St. Gregory's Junior College in Shawnee, Oklahoma, where he also served as the team's captain from 1966 to 1968. While at St. Gregory's, he received the All-Conference Award and the 1968 Honorable Mention All-American Award. He would later attend Langston University in Langston, Oklahoma from 1968 to 1970. From 1970 to 1981, he decided to relocate and take his talents to the city of Chicago, where he worked at the Foster Park Recreational Center, which is one of the best programming parks in the city. He worked in the capacity as the all-male activities coordinator and enhanced the programs for adults and youth males. This served as a great learning experience for Mr. Lewis. From 1981 to 2010, Mr. Lewis returned to his hometown of Fort Worth and began working at the Martin Luther King Community Center as coordinator of all of the center's activities. He wore many hats at MLK Center, which included the late night supervisor for gang prevention program. The most recent project he's been involved in is the Robert Hughes Hall of Fame High School Basketball Showcase, which was established in 2016 in collaboration with the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Lewis serves as the showcase director. His beautiful family includes a wife, Sandra H. Lewis, 4 daughters, 1 son, 11 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. Congratulations, Mr. Lewis, and we celebrate your outstanding contributions to the city of Fort Worth, Tarrant County, as well as Chicago and Oklahoma. Now, Mr. Lewis, your question is, if you could offer a pearl of wisdom or some pearls of wisdom to share today with our younger generation and the rest of the attendees today, what would that be?
Can you hear me?
There it is.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank Mrs. Morrison and the Tarrant County College for honoring me and the other honorees. And one other thing I would really like to say is that I am extremely proud that there were so many I am Churlites that have gave so much back to this city. And that's the way we were taught. That's the way it goes. And I am very, very proud of that. I guess one of the things I'd like to say to the youth, and that is that it's important for you to be a good listener, because I've noticed in this day and time, most of the kids don't listen very well. You know, but there's so much information out here. And if you deal with the right people, it will enhance your growth. Because growth is what this whole thing is all about. Growth, nourishing, being able to acquire a position that you feel good about, and being able to give back to your community. That has always been important to me, because I am a disciple of the great Hall of Famer, Robert Hughes. And one thing that he taught me as a kid was, I met him when I was 11 years old. He taught me to stand tall, be about the truth. Don't be afraid to speak what you know is the truth. So this is what I would give to the youth of today. And the other aspect is get your education. That is the most essential thing, one of the most essential things that you can get. So these are some of the things that I feel that our youth really need to take heed to. And in reference to what you guys are doing today, listen to your elders. This will take you a long way. Information is the key to life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lewis. We appreciate all of those wonderful words of wisdom that you have bestowed on us today. And congratulations again. Okay, our next honoree is Miss Jolinda Martinez. Following the example of her father, Mr. Manuel Jara, Miss Jolinda Martinez sought to be a servant leader as an advocate, teacher, and mentor to thousands of youth. Throughout her adult life, Ms. Martinez has served young people as a campfire leader, den mother, religious education teacher, classroom teacher, and coordinator of the Bilingual Teacher Assistant Program. At the highlight of her career, she founded a leadership program called the Hispanic Youth Promoting Excellence. The acronym for that is HYPE, which I thought was nice, which expanded to other leadership initiatives under the umbrella of Absolute Excellence excellence, and the acronym for absolute excellence is AX. Operating with a youth leading model, the goal was to develop leaders by first focusing on communication skills and soon evolving into opportunities to mentor and lead younger students. Using Hispanic literature as a means of connecting students gained an appreciation of their culture, a desire for higher education, and the ability to fulfill their own personal potential as our next community leaders. By vocation, Ms. Martinez was a bilingual ESL educator until her retirement in 2008. She is the product of Fort Worth ISD and earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Texas Wesleyan University. While taking breaks to rear her children, she spent 30 of 42 years serving the Fort Worth ISD bilingual ESL department in many capacities. Today, her passion is enjoying time with her husband, Jesse, 4 children, and 11 grandchildren. Even though she cannot see them in person, the stories, photos, and video calls continue to be the joy of her life. Congratulations, Ms. Martinez, and we celebrate your outstanding contributions to the City of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. Ms. Martinez, your question today is, what would you consider to be your greatest accomplishment? Ms. Martinez, I think you're on mute. If you would unmute yourself.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay. First of all, I'm wondering what I'm doing here amongst all these wonderful, wonderful people and accomplished people. I truly appreciate being among you. I appreciate reconnecting with you, Dr. Morrison. And Dr. Parker, you may not remember, but my daughter Monica was your friend in middle school. So she saw that on the program and reminded me, and I said, yes, I remember. So anyway, this is truly, truly an honor. I am extremely humbled, especially after hearing what everyone else has been doing. I would say my greatest accomplishment is touching thousands of lives. And everything I did, I always told my children, my students, I just want to live long enough to see all of your accomplishments. And I have. I've seen them succeed everywhere, but mostly that they learned to be servant leaders themselves. They love to give back and want to give back to the community. That's the legacy my father left me. And that's what we, everyone I touch seems to be pursuing as well. And I think that's bringing us all together. The HYPE program and the Absolute Excellence programs, I guess, were the two that I am really the most proud of. And a lot of that is because I got to work with these students for so many years, some from 8th grade until they graduated college. And a few of them even came back to work after college and helping us with all the programs. I was also very proud of my involvement in the diversity cadre, that I did a lot of training in the district on the diversity training. And one summer, I don't know if Fernando remembers, we were both adult counselors at the Anytown camp, which that was an amazing experience too. I think I served as counselor there for at least 5 years, if not more. Like I said, I just don't know. I truly connect it with what Helen Curtis said about seeing those children as the greatest accomplishments. And then Clara Faulkner, what she said, if that had been my question, I was going to say, first God. God is the one who guides us in everything, and being attentive. And while I'm hearing, let's ask the young children or young people to listen to the elders. I also say I think we need to listen to the young people, because in everything that I ever did, it was not me doing it, but it was a group, a team of young and old, and us listening to each other and working together to move forward with all of our programming. So anyway, again, I thank you all so very, very much, and I feel extremely humbled to be among all of you.
Very
Right.
nice.
Yes.
And thank you again, Mr. David Moore. You are on point with your musical interludes. And yes, Miss Martinez, Monica reached out to me on Facebook and told me that you were being honored today. So yes, I remember Monica. I definitely do. We were good friends at Wedgwood.
Yes.
And she's very proud of you. And speaking of very proud children, we have our final two honorees. Their daughter shared their bios with us, and unfortunately they're not able to be with us on today, but I still want to read, and I need to see which order I was supposed to go in. Mr. John Wright and Ms. LaFrancis Wright. And so Mr. Wright was born in Dumas, Arkansas, and attended public school in Dumas and Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He is a 1961 graduate of AM&N College, now University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, with a bachelor's degree in business administration. He received a certificate of completion for executive leadership and management from the Federal Executive Institute in Charlottesville, Virginia. His employment experience includes business manager for Shorter College in North Little Rock, Arkansas, Director of Relocation in the North Little Rock Urban Renewal Agency, Department of several positions in the Department of Housing and Urban Development, entry level, Regional Director, and Deputy Director, as well as Regional Director for the Office of Compliance and Enforcement, a position he held for more than 11 years until he retired in 1994. He's a past president of Tarrant Churches Together, he's a member of Baker Chapel AME. He's a member of the Executive Committee of Tarrant County branch of NAACP, a life member of Blacks in Government. He's also a Gold Life member of the NAACP. John and his lovely wife, LaFrancis Owens Wright, have been married to each other for more than 61 years and are the proud parents of 4 children. They are blessed with 4 grandchildren and 8 great-grandchildren. John and LaFrancis reside in Arlington, Texas, and his pearl of wisdom is you must rise above the scars of history and follow your passion. And his wife, Miss LaFrancis Owens Wright, was born in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, where she attended public schools, graduating from Merrill High School. She received her Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education in 1963 from Arkansas AM&N College. Mrs. Wright has always had a thirst for education, and through the years completed additional undergraduate coursework at the University of Albuquerque and the University of New Mexico, culminating her educational pursuits by earning a master's degree from Texas Christian University in 1987. Mrs. Wright spent her entire career as an educator, specializing in elementary education, teaching in Little Rock, Arkansas, Albuquerque, New Mexico, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Fort Worth, Texas. And she retired from Fort Worth ISD in 1996. Mrs. Wright is a lifelong Christian who met the love of her life, John E. Wright, also an honoree, on the steps of Allen Temple AME Church in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Mr. and Mrs. Wright have been married for over 61 years. And I'm repeating that because I think that's beautiful and I love love. So they've been married for over 61 years. And Mrs. Wright and her husband have been active members of Baker Chapel AME Church in Fort Worth for over 40 years, where they have faithfully served and volunteered in various roles. Mrs. Wright is a charter member of the Xi Theta Omega chapter in Arlington, Texas of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She's a founding member of the Dallas-Fort Worth UAPB Alumni Chapter, a Gold Life member of NAACP, a member of the Fort Worth Retired Employees Association, and a member of Arlington Senior Friends. And her pearl of wisdom is always do your best and give your best. And as I said, they were not here, but I would like for us to all give a round of applause, not only for Mr. and Mrs. Wright, but for, I have just been blown away by all of these honorees on today. And I celebrate you. I am just humbled to be in your presence. And many of you I have known my whole life. And so it's just great to be able to recognize and honor you on this day. And so I will turn it over to Dr. Morrison.
Thank you so much. I want to say a special thank you to Dr. Yolanda Parker and Dr. Tina Jenkins for your patience, your research, and your great effort, and today for your presentation of these honorees. I want to show a copy, sample, which all of the honorees will receive in the mail. This is your plaque. It will read, Tarrant County College, 7th Annual Breakfast with Our Elders, August the 7th, 2020. And it says, a legacy of education and leadership and service. Wise, accomplished, valued elders. So we look forward to you receiving this. We're excited. Thank you for joining us. And we were asked about an opportunity to have a TCC scholarship honoring the waves. And so I approached Dr. Joe McIntosh, Executive Director of the TCC Foundation about that. Dr. McIntosh, can you share with us what we came up with?
Yes, well, good morning, everyone. And again, I want to extend my personal congratulations to each of the honorees. Several of you are individuals that we've worked with closely, dear friends, and so it's been wonderful to hear the special accomplishments about the whole group today, and just again, congratulations to all of you. Through what Dr. Morrison is speaking of, through a conversation and reflecting on really today and even past award ceremonies, we really wanted to begin something that would create a lasting tribute to those of you that have been honored, as well as those to come in the future. And a determination has been made to establish a scholarship fund with the Tarrant County College Foundation that would be utilized once fully funded to help students as they're beginning their educational journey. We have had discussion about the specifics of that. Contributions can be made to the foundation. If someone would choose to, you can earmark your gift for this special fund, and it will be the WAVE Scholarship Fund at the foundation. I will say that because of all of the processes for it to begin being awarded, it needs to reach a funding level of a minimum of $5,000 so that it can continue for several semesters. Ultimately, we would hope that the fund could be endowed, and we would look forward to that being accomplished as well. But with this, starting this scholarship fund, it's a way of honoring, even beyond today, in the years to come, those of you that have really given your life in service to so many different facets of our community and even our nation. So again, I want to say thank you. And those of you also that are on the call, if you wanted to take note of this, but contributions can be made to the foundation, Tarrant County College Foundation, earmarked for the WAVE Scholarship Fund. And of course, our address, those of you we've communicated before, but I'll share it with you, 1500 Houston Street, Fort Worth, Texas, 76102. Or you can make gifts online through our website, and that information is in the program that you have today. So again, we want to thank you, and Dr. Morrison, especially your leadership and beginning this and launching this new thrust and idea. But thank you for the opportunity of sharing that with you this morning.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh. And I think you'll be surprised and excited. We can look for some contributions coming in honor of today's honorees and past honorees. And we will have a committee of WAVES who will talk with the foundation in setting up the specifics of that award process. So we've all been inspired today. I certainly have. And we all work every day for a better life for our children. We want not only that for our personal children and grandchildren, but for all of the children of the world. So today I want us to pause for a minute to hear from an inspiring young man, Jace Alexander. Are you there, Jace? Jace Alexander Corzine.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jace.
Good morning. Ours is not the struggle of one day, 1 week, or 1 year. Ours is not the struggle of one judicial appointment or presidential term. Ours is the struggle of a lifetime, or maybe even a lifetime. And each one of us in every generation must do our part. Ancestors John Robert Lewis. Thank you for the opportunity to listen, learn, and speak to you this morning. I am Jace Corzine, class of 2028. I got prepared for jobs that have not been in Benton yet. I am grateful to attend classes such as coding and engineering at TCC College for Kids. It has been said that education is the great equalizer. I am honored to stand on the shoulders of such notable elders that help make the opportunities I now take advantage of possible. It is my hope that my actions are ones that honor the dedication and uphold your values of making our community better. I look forward to following in your footsteps and getting into some good trouble because Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Jace. Thank you for coming to visit with us today and to share those encouraging words, Jace. And I will tell you, panelists, that he's 10 years old, and at the age of 9, he made a public statement to the Keller ISD Board of Education. So he's out there speaking his truth. He's an excellent scholar, and as he said, he has really enjoyed being a part of TCC College for Kids. Well, it's been a great morning, hasn't it? And we are all better together. We couldn't do what we do without our partners. We talked earlier and we mentioned the great staff people. I have to give a personal shout out to Kevin Lee because every one of the honorees has met him over the phone and he has coached all of us through this. So we want to thank Kevin, as well as the other staff people, Bruce and the whole media department for TCC. It's been really easy for me to sit here and do this because of all of your hard work. But I also want to thank the entire administration at Tarrant County College District for always remembering that we are the community college and we serve the community. And it's up to us every day to find new ways to answer the challenges of the community. We appreciate the Historic Rosedale Park Neighborhood Association, Mr. Frank Moss, President, Jonathan Morrison, Vice President, for your support in helping us getting our message to the community. The Focus Network, Mr. Jimmy Walker is my co-chair, and Jerry Garden, Executive Consultant. You need people to help you along the path, to think with you. Two heads are always better than one, to help you think through an idea and to bring an idea to action. Also, Mr. Carlos Walker and your staff at the Family Action Center. We've always been able to depend on Paul Lawrence Dunbar for bringing excitement and energy to the Breakfast with the Elders. And Jace, today's the first time we've had a 10-year-old speak, but I can assure you it won't be the last. So to Tarrant County College District, to TCC Corporate Solutions, to the TCC Foundation, who always makes a presentation to our youth and is always there to serve with us, and to the wonderful staff here at the TCC Opportunity Center, located in Stop Six, Texas, We are here to serve the community, open to the community. And I must mention that we have a community resource room here that's open and available. There are 16 computers in that room, but right now, because of social distances, we can only service 8 people. Also, I want to thank Jonathan Morrison from B Leverage LLC, who helped us to format this and produce this program today. If I have missed anyone, thanking anyone, just charge it to my head and not to my heart. I am so pleased to have heard some wonderful words of wisdom today. I was taking notes, elders, as you spoke. Rise above the scars of history. Don't hide your light. Let it shine. Live so that you can live without shame and without regret. Have an apologetic spirit as you unapologetically pursue your passion. It has been a great morning for me. I am encouraged. I am inspired for us to move forward together. Some of us, yes, will get in trouble, good trouble, but we must all continue to work together so that we may all live a better life. Thank you all. God bless you, elders. Continue your work.